How's it going? My name is Johnny.
I'm Silver.
And I'm Miggy.
And we're Ghost in the Snow, and we're here live with the PASO Creatives. We're here to talk to you about our music, our travesty, and everything else that you want to know. They have a couple questions set up for us, and we're going to answer them as honest as possible. So I'm giving you the word up. Is that good?
I mean, it's something.
Awesome, guys. Awesome. I think that was good. So first question I had for you guys, Ghost in the Snow, the title, the name. Was there like a reason behind Ghost in the Snow? Why you guys?
Yeah. Honestly, it's derived from like a lyric from one of our favorite songs. At the end of the song, it's kind of like fading away, and you hear whispers. And in one of the whispers, they say like a ghost in the snow, and that like stuck with me for like the past like 10 years. So that's why we decided to name the band Ghost in the Snow. Is that okay?
Yep.
Oh,
awesome. So what type of music are you guys into? What type of music do you guys create? What is your music about?
Well, that's actually two different answers for as far as the music we're into, or at least in my opinion. I'm into in between really heavy deathcore, metalcore sort of music. But the music I create is in between a mixture of jazz and alternative rock that'll make your ears melt once you hear it.
Awesome.
All right. Well, I don't know how I'm gonna follow that up, but I listen to a lot of like rock music and like old like Sinatra and like Jose, a bunch of old school music like that. And then everything in between from like rap to jazz. We try to like take all those things and like put them into our music as best we can. So a lot of times you'll hear like in Ghost and Snow songs, they'll sound different from each other just because it's kind of like, oh, well, this was influenced by all of this stuff and all of that.
A little bit of everything.
A little bit of everything.
That's the good thing about it. Everybody can actually, come together and put their own pieces on what they want.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's what I tell everybody too. Is like in any, whether it's photography, artwork, even music, it's something that's coming out of your brain, your idea. It's unique, it's imaginative. There's really no limitation to anything you create, music, lyrics, anything you write. It's from your own self. What first got you guys into music?
Oh, you gotta start this one.
Well, I got into music as a kid because my grandpa's a musician. He's a singer, and he sings like Vicente Fernandez type stuff. And when I was a kid, he'd let me like be in the room with him while he was recording or whatever. And I just got the bug from there, just from spending time with him, and then just kind of went from there. What about you guys?
Well, I actually sort of a parallel story. My grandfather was actually also an awesome musician. Unfortunately, he did pass away almost 10 years ago. But my grandpa was an amazing flamenco guitarist. He has this story where he learned how to play the mandolin. On a Monday, he was teaching at a church how to play the mandolin by Friday of that same week. So, yeah, he was amazing at music. And it all started, I visited one of my cousins. He had a little piano in his living room, and I started playing around with it. My mom bought me a light-up piano that had the keys that light up that tell you where to place your fingers.
Yeah.
After that, the basic orchestra at elementary school, piano classes in middle school, guitar classes in high school, and it's all been building up from there.
Awesome.
How about you?
What about you?
My bad. Sorry. Momentary intermission, I guess. For me, I've always just loved how music was. I love art, and music is art. So I've always liked every form of art. So I started learning how to do music from middle school. From middle school, I was in band, and then high school, I was in band and orchestra and choir and guitar. I just really liked music. I like to learn. I love to learn music. Not as great as a musician as over here, Miggy and Johnny, but I've always just enjoyed music. It's just something. It
speaks to you. Yeah.
Yes, it's auditory. It's auditory art. Because the first thing we do feel is, is our parents' heartbeat, our mother's heartbeat. So we're accustomed to sound. We love sound by nature. It calms us, it soothes us, it brings up some interesting things about you.
And like when we were kids, we all kind of became friends, and like through music, we were in bands together when we were like 14. So like we've been doing this a long time, and it's just always been part of our lives, and then was just something that we're like, hey, we want to take this seriously. We want to like be a real band and like go on tours and play shows and like create something really cool for people. So we kind of just like grouped together around that concept, and that's kind of how it was born.
So when you guys create a song, or like, where do your guys' ideas come to? Do y'all collaborate like on whatever you guys are all thinking three together and put it into one, or what's your creative process like in making a song?
That is actually how it happens. We all come together, and we don't. How do I say this? We don't say this is how the song should be. We come up with, oh, I like this. How about we do that? How about we do this? We add that. We add this. So
We build upon ideas.
as far as credits, the credit goes to all of us for contributing throughout the whole song, musically and intellectually. We all put in a little grain of sand into it.
Yeah. It's kind of one of those things where like Johnny will come up and he'll be like, hey, I have this really cool guitar riff. And then I'll be like, oh, that's funky. Let's play with that. Or like, you know, Silver will come up and he'll be like, hey, I have this idea for lyrics. You know, I think they'll sound really good. What if we did something like this? And since like we're kind of all over the place, like I play guitar, he plays guitar, he plays bass, and we all like have our different trends, singing or screaming or doing whatever. So like it really depends like who brings it to the table, and then everybody else just kind of backs that person up and see where we can take it together.
Awesome. Teamwork makes the dream work, right?
Yeah, man, dream work.
Awesome. So I know this year has been a lot of a challenge for literally anybody in the world. How did you guys adjust to the whole COVID situation? How are you guys staying up to date with local trends, and what are you guys doing now that kind of made you guys adjust to all this?
Yeah, after the initial like depression of it, like once we were like ready to actually get doing stuff, we kind of had this idea like, hey man, we got all this free time. Well, not really free time, but like we got all this extra time that we normally wouldn't have. We can't go anywhere anyways. What if we just like self-produce an album? Let's put our heads together and really like put something together that we think will be pretty good. So that's kind of how we addressed it. We had a lot of plans before that got dismissed. Like we had that Love Bus music video, and then a couple of different other like live shows that we were gonna play, and that all got thrown out the window. So we're just like, well, let's just focus on the craft. Let's focus on writing some cool stuff and recording it, and that's kind of how we got through it. That's the only thing that really like held us together through all of it.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys have anything to add to that.
Well, I feel like it made it just a little bit harder as well, just to get everybody together.
Yeah.
That was the biggest problem. Just trying to make sure everybody was able to get together, and then, you know, a lot of families, a lot of people too were freaking out, like, oh, you know what, if even going out just a little bit you never know. You can catch something, you might not be affected, and then it might affect somebody else in your family. So it was really, really hard, like the basis, just to get everybody together, try to work on everything. So it was hard, like everybody in different locations, in different areas, and still trying to work on the same thing.
So one thing that helped out a lot was just basically like, I know between Miggy and Eddie, they would send each other audios a lot. So they're constantly doing that back and forth.
Yeah.
You know? And for me, I work more in the aesthetic parts of things. I also tend to work with the lyricism, you know, so I'll work on my parts of how, you know, things are supposed to sound or how things are supposed to look. And I'll send it to mostly Miggy because he's the one he's mostly our mediator. He's the one that kind of like helps us out, like organize everything. Because believe it or not, like we are very great at what we do. We're just very dumb about putting it together.
If any of us knew how to schedule, we'd be like a world famous band by now.
Yeah. That's interesting.
It's really just like our combined ADHD that prevents us from getting things done sometimes. Like we'll be like in the middle of like working on a song, and we'll be like, okay, that sounds really good. And then someone's like, oh, let me tune up real quick. And 20 minutes later, we're playing wall ball outside, looking at the grass. So,
or if it's sometimes for some reason, inevitably we end up making a cumbia.
For some reason.
There's a secret album someday that'll come out where it's Ghost and Snow Cumbias.
Because or something, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know why, but anytime we're bored, we'll just start playing cumbias. We don't even notice.
It's in the blood.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it happens. You know, away from the whole depression, COVID, if you could open up for anybody in the world, who would you guys want to open up for?
Oh, I feel like we all have different answers, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's go down the line.
personally-
I'm going last, dude. I gotta think about
Alright.
it.
Well, me personally, I've always been a big fan of My Chemical Romance, and that's just who I want to open for. You know, like if anything, they too have a lot of their inspiration and stuff. So
Yeah, they have a lot of influence.
they really do. You know, like they really inspire, or they at least when it comes to music writing, they really inspired me. You know, to help out in that aspect. But at least that's who I would like to open for.
Okay.
Um,
The mic reaches. We can pass it back.
so personally, I think it'd be really cool if you guys opened up for Disturbed.
Disturbed.
Pretty much
Disturbed,
just
yeah.
because they do come a lot here
They
to
put on
El
a-
Paso.
But they put on a good show too.
They do. But imagine, like being able to actually open up for them. Like, I
With
don't
the
know.
cumbia.
I think,
Started off with the cumbia.
yeah. And you know they love it. They fucking love it. Sorry, they love El Paso. You know.
Yeah. Why not?
That's
They're
me
good.
personally.
The guitar.
And you know what? I don't want to do it unless they let us play cumbia. They let us play cumbia. It's on our rider. It's a requirement.
Exactly.
How about you?
Well, my like over the top dream of opening a show for is Metallica, for the sheer fact that Metallica puts on a hell of a show.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's for people that don't have like what do you call it, an over the top, stage and art and everything, but they still make you go home thinking, did that really happen?
yeah.
Was I just there? Was that real?
I feel like we couldn't open for them just because they wouldn't allow us near the pyrotechnics.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stop touching that.
Come on. And I think mine would be probably the Deer Hunter. They're like an alternative rock band that I'm a really big fan of. And they just really good musicians. They like, if you listen to their album and then go listen to them live, it sounds better live, which is like a rarity in my opinion. So like I would love to open for them.
Wow.
Awesome. Those are all really good people. Yeah. I mean, I guess they would also be your guys' inspiration or role models in a way, wouldn't they?
Yeah, most definitely.
No.
Well, no, not y'all. No.
No, for
Really?
me.
Why do you guys want to open for random people?
Well, it's because we're talking about different aspects of
So you're thinking for like the sake
creation.
of the show, like
Yeah.
you're like,
yeah.
Well, then
it'd be a
who would
good
be your
show.
guys' inspiration or role models then?
Well, my
All
role.
right, let's go back then.
Well, we're going back. All right.
It comes back the same way again.
So my role model, as far as guitar playing, you'll notice once you hear those Ghost in the Snow albums come out, how my scales as far as solos come from Jimmy Page. You'll hear a lot of Jimmy Page and Slash, Eddie Van Halen, all that techniques and scales and all that. You'll hear that in my music. And well, I guess the most recent one would be Sinister Gates from Avenged Sevenfold. That's more of a milestone more than an inspiration. I want to be like him, but I don't want to play like him. You know what I mean?
Nice.
And how about you?
Inspiration for music. Well, I guess I still stick with what I said. You know, like.
Still My Chemical Romance.
Of course, you know,
That's
like
great,
that's
man.
who I grew up
Yeah, why
listening
not?
to, man.
Yeah, I
Like
love it.
that's who I would love to open up for. But when it comes to music in general, like I love everything when it comes to music. You know, I'll listen from anything to everything. So it's very complicated for me to say like,
Just one.
yeah,
Just
just
one.
one thing inspires me because I've
What's
listened to
yours?
everything. You know, especially like I said here, we're here from El Paso, so I'm pretty sure a good majority of the people that are here and stuff like grew up watching El Canal 5, you know? And if most people know that, you know, people here from El Paso know that, you know, they hear about El Canal 5 and they remember. And I remember back in El Canal 5 when I would hear like on Saturday mornings, salía the Warner Brothers, the Bugs Bunny, Looney Tunes.
Yeah.
And I would remember
That's
that.
your musical inspiration.
Yes. And I can remember that because
A man
that,
of taste.
yes, of course, classic. But
It's interesting. Yeah.
it made music, even though like when you hear that song like by itself, you can hear like the power to it. But it was put in such a comedic way that it envisioned both things, and I love that. You know, for somebody that loves art, you know, seeing things combined like that so amazingly is beautiful to me.
Yeah.
You know, like I want, like when I write the lyrics for certain songs, like I want them to be able to be seen by hearing them. That's what I think. You know,
Yeah.
because I have very poor sight. Trust me, guys. They should know. But if I can hear something and you can explain it to me right, like I can see it without having to see it. So that's how I want our music to be. Like I want it to be seen without having to see it.
Going back to like it speaks to you. Yeah.
Yeah, we definitely have like a flair for the dramatic with our writing. Just kind of where I'm a big fan of like Broadway plays and stuff and like musicals. So like, and you know, like Queen and very like dramatic music. So a lot of our music has that influence in it where like we take a lot from movies and stuff
Yeah.
to kind of build like a world around whatever the song it is that we're playing.
Mhm. Awesome. Yeah. So as Ghost in the Snow all together, what are something that's like wasn't a big achievement, I guess, that you guys achieved, or something that was like very struggling for you guys to do?
Recording this album.
Yeah.
Actually, we went into it without knowing what we were doing. I actually started producing electronic dance music. That's where I get my knowledge as far as mix and mastering. But I had to apply all that into rock music, which I had only done once before, and it was a cover song, so it doesn't really count.
Yeah, we definitely struggled with that a lot. It was very much just like, hey, let's record this. We would finish the songs, and then we'd be recording and be like, why does it sound like trash? And then we just start over, and it was just like a lot of like going back and forth. And
Every episode that we do, practice makes perfect, you know?
Yep.
Takes a
Yeah,
lot.
and it 100%, you know, if there's anything we preach is that it's just, you just have to keep going. Every time we record a song, we'll record a new one the next month and it'll sound better. And we'll record a new one the month after that, it'll sound better. And then we'll just go back and we record the first one because we're like, well, now that we know this. And then, but you know, that road never ends. So we're always trying to like find new ways of like getting better at that.
The issue is finding out new ways to make it better when you've already poured your heart out on something. Like we have you'll hear it later on YouTube, our song Vampires. We had that recorded, we had that, produced, we used it for our ads, for everything, and then we come to the studio and it's like, dude, did you know parametric compression exists? And we're like, what? Compression? What the hell is that? We weren't even compressing our audio. We weren't doing, all this stuff that we do now. And, we poured our heart out on that.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, there is a lot of creative challenges that you face too when you write lyrics and when you write and things like that.
Definitely.
Of course.
What have been some of the, I guess, struggles that you guys have been through, and maybe some sacrifices that you guys to make in order to do what you guys are doing?
Yeah, man. I mean, I think we all came from like not the wealthiest of families, right? So like, being a kid, even it was hard enough getting a guitar, let alone like an amp or something to play with. And I think we all kind of had that similar experience where we all kind of struggled to follow our passion. But it was just one of those things where it's like, hey, I bought a guitar this year. Next year I bought an amp. Next year I bought, like new strings for it. The year after that, you do what you can when you can. And like, that was a big struggle for all of us growing up. I remember when we were in bands as kids, like that was the hardest part. It'd be like, hey, we don't have a bass. It's like, okay, take 2 strings off of that guitar and we'll call it a bass. And like, we had
It works.
we got by. It worked, man. We that's how we would get by, just like making it work how we can. And I think that's a challenge now too. Like, even though we have slightly better equipment and like slightly better, instruments and stuff and slightly better skills, we still find that every day that it's a struggle. Just like, hey, if we had this, it'd be easier, but you can't let that stop you. You just have to keep going. You have to like keep working with what you got.
I think that's one of the things that really we're good about. We're good at working with what we got.
Yeah.
And it is very much of like a wanting, If you want it, then what's really stopping you from getting it or from doing it, to be, more precise? Like,
Yeah.
you don't do it, it's because you really didn't want to. Like it's just a simple fact. Like if you want it, then do it. Nothing's gonna stop you. Like anything else is just an excuse that you're telling yourself.
Exactly. Yeah, like a lot of big artists that are big now in the world, they never had what they have now. They started in the same way There was this cool
Yeah.
documentary I saw. It was from like Brazil. These kids literally went to like trash fields and like collected trash and made instruments out of them and things like that. And
Yeah,
they
that's
made
awesome.
what they had. Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen instruments be made out of a block of wood, a nail, and a wire.
Mhm.
You
Yeah.
know, like
all kinds of stuff. I mean, that's the cool thing about music too, is that you don't really need anything.
it's yeah.
Like you just need, if you can sing, sing. If you can like have a little bit of rhythm, find some pots and pans. Like yeah, as
I
long as you
don't.
have the passion.
Yeah, I don't even think you need that if you're into making music. You just need to do it. You don't need to, because the way I started actually making electronic music, I don't know if you guys knew. I was in high school. I was not a very good student my junior year, so I was sent to this class called Odyssey, in which we would sit in a computer, take online classes, and try to regain that credit for the class that we didn't pass. So what I would do is I would go there, go to this website called soundation.com, which is an online music studio without any knowledge. And I just started to mess around and throw beats in there and mess around with the keyboard. And now, we're here.
A big factor is just experimenting, right? It's just
Yeah.
trying to learn as much as you can and just doing with what you have.
Yeah,
I cannot for the
that's
name of
that's like the funnest part and the hardest part. Like just being in a position where like, hey, I really want to put something out. I have this emotion that I need to get out. It's like the most rewarding part of it, like finally figuring out what that sound is, like whether it be a chord progression for you or whether it be like a vocal line or something. That's the coolest part. Finding like your emotion in it, behind it, and then being able to do that. But that's the hardest part because you gotta like open yourself up to do that. You gotta like
Right.
open wounds sometimes and like really like be vulnerable for a second.
Mhm.
But I think it's a great way to like express those feelings, and a really great way for like someone like me who's not very communicative in my day to day with like words and stuff. Writing music is very good for me. It allows me to kind of be like, this is how I'm feeling. Listen to it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, like kind of what we mentioned in the beginning, where it's like just expressing what you feel at the moment and just like literally your whole imagination.
Yeah, putting it out there, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when people listen to your music, I think this was a good follow up. Is when people listen to your music, what do you guys hope that they get out of it?
story.
We want you to have fun with it, but like a story. Where the album we're currently about to release is kind of like a concept album. It's a story from start to finish. So if you listen to all the songs in order, they're all telling one consecutive story. So that'll be really cool if they listen to the album all the way through. But as songs as individuals, we just want you to have fun with it.
Yeah.
And, we have songs of all kinds. So like if it's a sad song and you feel like it makes you sad, be sad with it. Like let it be your companion. If it's a happy song, like have somebody to dance with it. We just want people to enjoy it. Just have fun with it and like maybe take a moment out of their lives where they can like not think about their problems and have like 3 minutes to themselves.
Mm. And how do you guys seek opportunity to go out and like put out your music out there? I know a lot of people who are starting in the music industry, they're finding different ways of how to get started. How do you guys recommend they get started, or how did you guys get started?
Well, my mom used to say is you can't get to Rome without asking for directions. You can't get to success without getting the word out there. You can't. The way we got our first couple of shows is we weren't actually that known, but I started sending out emails anyway. We got this band, we got to do this, we want to do a show, we'll sell the tickets, we'll do whatever we need to, but we want to do this.
Actually, one of our shows got booked out of a vendetta.
Wow.
If I remember right.
Which one?
Which one?
The Potter show?
I believe so. Our international show was done out of a vendetta.
Why?
Because I remember Johnny was messaging me that one. He told me, he's all like, dude, I can't believe it. And I was like, what's up? I'm like, what? My manager, he's gonna be playing a show.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is not a funny story, but it's a story. We all three used to work at this same call center here in El Paso, and my manager, he started a band. What Goes in the Snow had already been around for like a year, maybe a year and a half, and this guy, I don't know how he did it. He started getting shows, and I'm like, forget this, man. We've been a band for longer than that. Nobody's booking us. I'm gonna look for that opportunity. I'm gonna ask people, beg on my knees. I don't know.
Yeah.
They'll alcohol, for them for free.
Do what you can
Whatever
to make
I
it happen.
do.
Yeah.
I, I forgot the word bartender, so
Same difference, man. Same difference.
so yeah. Out of that, not really vendetta, but more like jealousy. It's like, you started your band last week and you're getting shows. Hell no. We've been around
Man,
longer.
this is how we got
We
that
have
show, huh?
better music. I'm gonna get us
I
a.
don't want better music. We have different music.
No, we've better music. I've heard the music.
All right, well, we got this.
No,
Be like
no,
that.
I'm just joking. Those guys are amazing. Their lead singer David, the drummer is I think his name is Jose. I can't remember correctly. Those two guys work with me, and they're actually really great guys. If you ever have them on the show, that would be amazing because they're actually really good musicians. They did deserve the
Absolutely,
shows.
yeah.
Right on.
Awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's pretty cool. Yeah, like just finding any way you could to do what you want to do, like just reaching out and doing whatever it takes in a way,
Yeah, we got better as time went on. Like now we have like a press kit, right? Now we have like more things to kind of be like a little bit more legit instead of a bunch of kids being like, listen to this, where we've learned, that's how you have to start, man. You have to start by like asking for a favor. You have to start by like saying like, hey, give us an opportunity.
Yeah.
You gotta just put yourself out there, and it'll come to you. It'll find you. I mean, he's a prime example. The moment he really wanted it, he made it happen.
Yeah, exactly. That's all it takes pretty much is just seeking opportunity out there. Within the whole music industry and with you guys as well, I think I kind of know the answer to this is like just be entertaining, but what key characteristics do you guys think is very important to have within yourself in order to be successful with your whole path?
I think you have to have a lot of resilience.
Yeah, resilience.
That's kind of a big one because like you're gonna wanna. I like as a creative person, I struggle with it all the time. Where it's like, hey, I made this. Hey, I hate this. Hey, it's okay. Hey, it's not that great. And you kind of go up and down with it, and like you have those ebbs and flows, and just knowing that like that's a thing that happens, and you gotta be okay with it, and like still fight through that, and still put it out there, and still like even if it's not your best work, it'll be better next time. Just keep doing it. And
Exactly.
I think that's the hardest part, just to keep going.
Yeah, just keep pushing, keep going day by day, you'll get there eventually somewhere. So what's next? I mean, what's next for Ghost in the Snow? What are some exciting things you guys have coming up? Things like that. Yeah.
Well,
We still have
Can
that.
we say no? We can't. No. Okay, so
No.
we're sorry, nothing. We're doing nothing.
Nothing's going on.
No, we're gonna be releasing a self-made EP here pretty soon, and it's gonna be on Spotify and all the places. So like that'll be out here in a little bit. And then past that, we're working with a local recording studio to try to like make a full-length album. So that should be coming down the works here pretty soon. Oh, and merch.
Oh yeah, we are working on merch. We are working on a couple giveaways, a couple live streams, vlogs. We're working not only on our music, but on Ghost in the Snow. I'm building that image of what Ghost in the Snow is besides our music. To show you who we are. We're also humans. We're not just jukeboxes. We have feelings. And yeah.
That's what music's about, just expressing yourself, getting
Yeah.
what's inside of you out there. And there was this podcast I was listening to, and I was like, you never know who's out there listening that you can even help, like
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
all about
man.
even
Thank
sending
you
the
so much
message.
for having us. Like we appreciate the opportunity.
So these last two questions I wanted to ask you guys, compared to where you guys are at now, what are things that you know now that you wish you would have known when you first got started?
That we wouldn't want to know.
That we
So
wouldn't.
things you know now that you wish you would have known when you got started.
Oh.
What parametric EQ is?
Yeah. Well, I wish I would have known that it takes a while for stuff to happen. I've heard stories like Billie Eilish, Post Malone, these people who like got famous at a really young age that are successful from one day to the other, and I was sort of expecting that, but not 90%, more like 50%.
Yeah.
No, it turns out it's a lot of hard work, and I wish I knew that it came with a lot of hard work because I wouldn't feel like I'm milking everything I have in this. I would have known that this is how it is. Now I know that this is how it is. Now I don't complain about, me sitting at my computer 8 hours at night working on a song that it ends up not sounding right. Now I'm not like, I should have known. No, it's like, this is how it is. I follow this music producer, Andrew Wade. You might know him from Victory Records.
Mhm.
He has this live streams where he goes 12 to 18 hours working on just vocals for bands. He goes 5 to 6 hours only on guitars that have already been recorded without, them recording them. So if that's, normal, then that's normal. And I wish I would have known that.
Yeah, just keep pushing, keep working hard. Yeah, if you're really passionate about it, like you guys said, if you're really passionate about it, you guys are gonna make it, find a way to make it happen.
Yeah. I think kind of just piggybacking on what Johnny said, just that to know that like, hey, you're gonna have to work really hard and it's gonna be tough and like it'll pay off though. Like we're seeing a lot of like more success now and like it's kind of like a snowball effect. Like it starts really small and then like as things go on, it starts growing faster and faster. And like that's probably what I would tell like my past self, like, hey, just keep going. You're gonna be fine.
It just
Get it
matters
done.
how much you put as a commitment and how much time you put into it is how far you'll reach, is what I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, I wish I would have started sooner.
Yeah.
Well, this whole year did kind of throw us all off with all that. Like we had so many things ready to come up with. The thing is, we have a lot of music that we've created and stuff. But we can perform it, we can do everything with it. But it is hard putting it out there. Very, very hard putting it out there, and
At least at a quality that we feel like is like good, right?
deserving.
We don't want to put something out there and have it sound terrible. So we're doing our best, and that EP will kind of be like our best stuff yet. So we're really excited to put that out
Yeah,
there.
because like when we I work with a lot of arts and stuff, when it comes to like paintings and stuff like that, and that takes me a while to do. If I'm putting on a certain color, I have to wait for that color to settle down before I can put a different one if that's a specific one.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how it is also with the music. It's a lot of going back and letting it settle down and see if this is what I really want, if this is what we really want to hear.
I never thought about that.
Yeah. You got a point.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's something very important too, is just making sure that one, you don't waste your time, and two, that's really what you want. And then knowing that it is a process. It's not going to happen overnight, not over a month, not over a year. Process.
Like we've been doing that. Like there's some lyrics there. Believe it or not, though, there's one song. I'm not gonna specify which one that I really don't like. Well, me personally, I don't like it. But we despise that song.
I like how it sounds.
That's the reason why.
I made it sound that way.
It's an amazing song. But we have songs that has taken us, like, it's frustrating. There are songs that have taken us years to like fully write, with everything like guitars, bass, drums, lyrics, vocal soundings and stuff. But then there's this one song that took us just a slight, maybe half afternoon to make, and it's amazing. Like sometimes you can just get strokes of ideas. Sometimes you get you can get a lot of blocks. We get a lot of blocks off. We get writer's blocks, lyricism block.
That's something that somebody mentioned last week too, was like artist block too when they paint.
Yeah. Artists, like I said, music is art as well. So getting that artist block is very frustrating. So one thing that we tend to do a lot is what helps me out personally is I do something else. You know what? I can't work on this. I'm frustrating myself even more trying to do this. I'm not in the right state of mind. And sometimes I'll leave it. And it's frustrating because I'll leave it there for a couple of months, but then I'll come back to it and I'll be able to finish it after I've done something different. Like something smaller. I try to make something smaller instead of like trying to take on a big project. Because if we try to start a big project, we're gonna create another big project out of inside of that big project. We're just gonna have a mess.
Exactly.
So if you get artist block, it's helpful to just make a little project, something else, something small, just something so you can get your, see in a different angle, see from a different perspective.
Step by step. Yeah, I agree with you.
And it's very helpful. Like
I'm pretty sure a lot of people get this, like not just artists, you know, like I know gamers get this, and I've seen like people that play video games all the time, and when they get very tilted from playing a game so much, they'll stop playing. But when they come back to it, they'll be able to finish what they're doing. You know, as well with anyone else I've ever met. You know, people get like even the customer service or something, you know, they get frustrated with people, but they just need to cool down, you know, calm down and start doing something else. So, that's basically how I remind myself.
No, I 100% agree with you. It takes little steps to make big steps. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's basically what I would tell my past self. You know, like, hey, you know what? You're gonna have to take a lot of little steps. You know, like that's basically it.
Yeah. Awesome, guys. So, I mean, I appreciate you guys coming on to the show. Before we let you guys go, where can people find your music? Where can people find you, contact you, things like that?
Yeah, definitely. You can find us on Instagram under Ghost in the Snow Official. We're on Facebook, same name, Ghost in the Snow Official. We're on YouTube. You can find our music there, and then very soon you'll be able to hear us on Spotify, Apple Music, Google Music, you name it. So you can primarily find us on Instagram. That's where we post most of our stuff. And if you want to listen to our music, there'll be links there to everything. So thank you. Thank you for having us, man. We had a lot of fun. Thank you.
Awesome, guys. Yeah, go for it. Go ahead.
Before we go, I do want to give a big shout out to Joseph Ramos and Jose Arzate. Our band wouldn't be what it is today without those two guys. We really appreciate their help.
Yeah, and Jose couldn't be here today. He had some family stuff to take care of, but he sends his love and he says hello.
Awesome. We'll make sure he watches this. Yeah, we'll make sure.
Oh yeah. We've been texting the whole time. It's like, you better be watching, dude.
Awesome, guys. Well, I appreciate it so much. And for anybody who's going to be listening to this show, you know, go show them some love on their page, their music. You know, it takes it's really helpful to have that support. You know, and people there.
Yeah, that's the thing about El Paso. We got a great community here.
Exactly, and that's what we realized too when we built this, was that like it does help a lot of people pursue what they want to do when there's somebody out there giving them support. I've seen a lot of people where, you know, they could have been what they could have became, but because they didn't have that support system, they gave up and they never became that, you know, and it sucks. But
yeah, no, that's true. And if we can help anybody, like if anybody's out there who needs some like help with music, or you have questions about like, hey, how can I do this? We're more than happy to help you guys too. You know, we're here to shed love and like shoot any questions or anything you need from us, and we'll do our best.
Awesome, guys. Awesome. Well, I appreciate you guys coming on. Like I said, everybody go show some love to Ghost in the Snow Official, right? And
yes, sir.
On our page as well, you can find us on Anchor, Spotify, YouTube, pretty much anywhere. With that said, I'm going to let you guys go. Thank you guys so much for being on the show.
Hey, thank you, man. Have a good one.